Check, check.
Crypto DLT with MrConectr. Be sure to subscribe. Hit the notification bell for daily content. Let's go.
When are we going to see robots? When are we going to see robots? When are we going to see robots?
Robots?
I want a robot. Lutnick said I'd own a robot.
You want a
soon.
robot?
Yeah.
The robots are coming, Jesse. I promise you, the robots are coming. What we're seeing right now is some very interesting prototypes from a number of companies. If you've seen Optimus from Tesla, they can walk around, they can do things, they can fold laundry. Robot, in theory, a humanoid robot, in theory, will be able to do anything that a human can physically do. And what will be, I think, really transformative about this, and we're getting into science fiction a little bit, Jesse, but not that far ahead. This is in the next 5 years. It'll be able to watch a YouTube video, and anything it sees a human doing in a YouTube video, it should be able to mimic. And if you let your personal robot follow you around, it could mimic your behavior, and you'll be able to teach it to do things. So, you know, in the not-too-distant future,
you're saying a robot
Yes.
could watch me for a few minutes and then do my job?
Maybe.
Maybe?
I don't know. We may have
What does that mean,
Well-
maybe? I'm replaceable by a robot, and when? When am I leaving Fox? I just got here.
I don't know. Yeah, Jesse, you're irreplaceable. The robots won't be able to replace you, but you know, but just the physical tasks around the house that you don't like doing, taking out the trash, doing the laundry, doing the dishes, it'll definitely be able to do that stuff.
The robots are coming, guys. Are you ready? What's up, everybody? It's MrConectr back again for another stream. Hope you guys are doing great today. I am doing absolutely wonderful, guys. We are ready. We are bullish. Who do we have in the stream? What's up, Bradley B, X Lloyd, and Turple Norple, or Turple changed his name to Turple XRPLE. Cool. You guys made the podium. Good to see you guys up in here. As always, cool. We are back again for another Connector stream. Yeah, guys, the robots are coming. I don't know about you, but I don't think I'll mind a robot taking care of some of the chores around the house. And, you know, especially when we get older, guys, you know, I don't want to have to depend on the younger generation. So maybe they won't be such a bad thing, guys. Maybe we can have some kind of a blockchain or AI governance controlling these robots, ensuring the safety of it, you know. So We shall see, guys. All right. Catching up with the chat. Oh, I appreciate that, X Lloyd. Music and the content. Nothing close right now. Good. Yeah, I'm just doing the best I can. The best live stream soundtracks ever. Yeah, guys, this is just analog synthesizers. I'm playing a new patch each time. You know, it's nothing pre-recorded. It's pretty cool to have instruments going for the stream. Yes. Cool, guys. Sorry, it's been a few days I've been out handling business. You know how we roll. You get me when you get me. All right, cool. Let's get to the connector coins. In the past 24 hours, Elastos is doing the best, and Zebek's still up a little bit. There's a little FUD circulating around Zebek. I've got that in the X bookmarks from the other day. Hash Provenance blockchain is up a little bit. Veritasium, Evernode's up, Quant's up. But mostly it's a down day. What's down the most today? What's up, Silver Days? Good to see you as always. Big supporter of the channel. All you guys, man. I appreciate everything you guys get in here and do and chat up with me. It helps push it out. And I see you got the same guys hitting the like buttons every day. So let's have some new likes. Smash the likes. Appreciate that. Cool. What's not doing great on the connector coins? Akash reserve rights are down a little bit today. Juno's down. Cubic is down. I've yet to look into Cubic. I know Nerdy was talking about it, so we put it on the connector coin list the other day. Down 65%. Might be a good buy to get into that. Not financial advice. Look at Axelar down a little bit. That's probably a good buy. Down like, what was it? Past 30 days, 37% down. Axelar. Yeah, guys, we're doing pretty good on the channel. I've had a couple good calls. We called BSL a couple weeks ago, right before it went on that tear. We did really good with BSL and Loan Protocol. Did really well on that. Let's check in on that BSL. That is Bank Social. If I can get to it. Cool. Ranked 15,286. Bank Social. This thing was a 0001 when we called it a couple weeks ago. What's up, Bullish Bird? Good to see you. Yeah, this thing was 0001 when we called it 2 weeks ago. Just checking in on it. Look at that candle right there. Here's the 30-day chart on that thing. Yeah, 0001. Now it's at 0009. We're about to erase a 0. And guys, this is in Hedera coin. For those who didn't get it, they were added to the FedNow blockchain service provider list, and they're the second blockchain company behind Metallicus that has a coin issued. So, but this one does not have the check mark for the liquidity provision under the FedNow service provider. So take that for what you will. What's up, Jeffrey? Good to see you as always. So this has kind of got my mind on some of these Hedera coins, guys. So we did really good with this one. And I was also into another one. Let me see if I can pull it up under my faves. Another one on Hedera called Dovu. You know, Dovu is the, I'm not really big interested in the carbon credits, but we know that is something. So yeah, we did really good on Dovu as well. So that's got me thinking maybe, just maybe, guys, something's going on with these Hedera projects. Might be a good thing to look into. So we are on Crypto Rank right now, looking at Hedera coins. In the past 30 days, there's Dovu up 277%. Karate Combat, Hedera Guild, Tune FM. There's Hashpack. So there's the wallet you use if you want to get into some of these Hedera projects. It's called the Hashpack wallet. You just send your HBAR to HashPack, and you can swap in and out using. There's several different methods for swapping on HashPack. So you guys are chatting it up good. All right, cool. But I got into this one yesterday, thinking along the same lines. This is just a new coin connectors into. We've got on Hedera. It's not even on this list, but it is in the HashPack wallet. And I was in it a while back and got out of it, but it's HBAR Suite. 0003 is the price. And check out the market cap, though. It's only a $17 million fully diluted value. It's only 50 billion H Suite. And what is H Suite? Well, let's look down here. They have the smart nodes. H Suite is the world's first carbon negative DAO to utilize innovative smart node technology deployed on top of the Hedera network. So it is layer 2. Everything on like Hedera is kind of layer 2. So we've always talked about how you got to be careful with the layer 2 projects, and the smart contracts are vectors of attack, as we've seen here recently with Sui. And so let's look at Hedera. Everything on Hedera is kind of it says it's deployed on top of Hedera. So instead of running a smart contract on top of Hedera, we're running smart node technology, which replaces smart contracts from what I understand. And I've got the differences here in just a second. Deployed on the Hedera network with the ability to bypass smart contract limitations and risks. Our smart nodes enable infinite scalability as well. So they're touting this as able to bypass the risk of smart contracts, which is very interesting. In the channel, we've always talked about how vulnerable smart contracts can be. This is HBAR Suite's website. Smart Node Network, comprehensive suite of decentralized services on the Hedera Hashgraph ecosystem. What's the ranking here? We've got, what is this thing? Ranked 4,800. So this would, if it does anything, it's definitely a sleeper. Down 15% on the month, ranked 4,800. So explaining the smart nodes, it's got sits on top of Hedera with it's its own decentralized exchange as well. So we always want to highlight, though, on the channel the DEXs that are built into the layer 1, the exchanges that are built into the protocol instead of sitting on top of the protocol like layer 2. But this may be an exception to that rule, to the connector rule, because it doesn't use the smart contracts, is what it's saying. Smart node integrated in third-party cross-chain exchanges, instantly swap NFTs, token manager, multi-sig. It's got a launch pad, a DAO engine, but in a few words, smart nodes are highly customizable programs deployed inside virtual images, which can be hosted and decentralized through cloud computing environments like Google Cloud, Amazon Web Services. Their purpose is to create a decentralized network of services that could leverage the Hedera Layer 1 functionalities. So accessing the Layer 1 functionalities with this smart node technology that sits on top of Hedera, which are much more efficient and cost-effective compared to Ethereum-based environments. So leveraging Hedera instead of Ethereum, basically, but safer, it looks like. You guys are going out to Vegas. Hope you guys have a good time. Be safe out there. I wouldn't bring any kind of, it's just me. I ain't telling you what to do or anything, but I wouldn't have any kind of access to crypto or anything while I was out there. And make sure you guys stay in groups. Don't go along by yourself, going in and out of some of these places. There might be someone watching these conferences, waiting for someone to be alone, so be safe out there is the point of that, guys. Don't worry about everybody that's going to these crypto conferences now, because you're like, they know you've got crypto and you're there. So be careful out there. All right, cool. Just wanted to show you guys about HSuite and what are the benefits of using HBAR Suite smart nodes over traditional smart contracts. Using HBAR smart nodes on Hedera offers several advantages over traditional smart contracts, particularly in the context of decentralized finance, DeFi, and application development. So the keys are simplified development with familiar languages, cost efficiency, energy efficient, and sustainability, scalable and performance, enhanced security and decentralization, flexibility, and reduced complexity, interoperability with Web3 ecosystems, real-world application success. I'm going to read the conclusion in just a second and be done with that. Be done with this, and we'll move on to the news and the events in crypto. Limitations and considerations. It is in beta, so be careful. It's in beta. There's a lot of things in beta still. Hell, I've been in the holochain since 2018, I think. 2019. And they're still in beta, guys. So they've been building this entire time. But smart nodes are still in development, which means they may undergo changes in their long-term reliability compared to established smart contract platforms like Ethereum. So it's in beta. It's still in development. And it's... it's speculation, guys. You don't make money on sure thing. You make money on speculating, not financial advice. So, and some discussions note that the advantages of smart nodes over smart contracts are not fully detailed, and direct comparisons they can be biased. It just depends on the use cases, specific use case. So the conclusion is HBAR smart nodes provide a compelling alternative to traditional smart contracts by offering simplified development, lower cost, energy efficient, high scalability, and enhanced security on the Hedera network. So lots of benefits going that route if it turns into something. I just wanted to bring it to you guys because it is, I do have, for those who are doing some swing stuff, it's down. Look at the month on it. There was some good pumps. I was in this pump a while back. It does pump. So you got 0001 back here on in December 2 years ago, 2023. 0001, and then all of a sudden, in March, 3 months after that, 002. So it does pump. It's had two pumps. And then it had a pump on this past December as well. So it looks like every December. So you might have a few months to wait on that. Who knows? What's up? Thanks, Gary. Good to see you. All right, cool. Let's get to the American cryptos. Actually, let's look at the top crypto gainers and losers today on CoinMarketCap. Nilion is up 22%, ranked 377. I'd just like to take a quick look and see which coins are doing great. And what is Nilion? Ranked 374. 98 million market cap and 1 billion supply. So that's actually not bad, actually. 1 billion NIL. I don't even know what this token is, though. What is Nilion? It's doing the best today out of all the tokens. And it is the blind computer. private computation and storage network for AI and data. All right, AI can store data. All this data has to be accessible in the future and accessible via the blockchain. The network uses privacy-enhancing technologies to enable computation and storage on data while maintaining privacy. Yeah, where's all the data going to live? All this blockchain data, it's getting huge, guys. It's getting enormous. Is it going to live on a Web3 history node? Or is it going to live in the Web 2 world, accessible using Web 3 technology? NIL is the native utility token of the network used for network fees, staking, governance, of course. All right, cool. That one's doing the best. Well, let's get to the American cryptos. What's doing good in America? Alio. We looked at this a while back, and I can't remember what it is, but it's doing the best in America. It's always worth a look. It's popping off today, but it's been down 19 cents, and now we're at 21 cents. Not much of a pop, but the 2-pump jump. What is Alio? It represents a significant advancement in the blockchain sector, focusing on enhancing privacy and security through use of zero-knowledge proofs. Verify transactions without revealing any sensitive information. Address concerns around privacy in the digital world. Alio going private. That's good to see that one's doing the best in American cryptos, and they're focused on privacy. We know privacy is what people crave as far as blockchain, that's for sure. What else do we have? We have the sectors in crypto, like rehypothecated crypto, like wrapped coins, memes, Binance chain, real world assets. Just like to take a quick look at these, but nothing's really popping off today. Maybe the Ton coin ecosystem is up a little bit. That's about it. Let's keep moving. We've got the crypto events calendar today. Wednesday, the 28th, right? Yep, the 28th. Let's see if there's any projects that we know of. Constellation Hypercast. We like DAG on the channel. American Crypto. The Air Force is already using DAG. I think I have a bookmark for DAG in just a little bit. Delegating staking statistics. They're having an upgrade, version 3 upgrade on Constellation DAG. That's good to see projects doing upgrades. XDC ecosystem update. Progress and path and priorities ahead for XDC network. 2 p.m. UTC. See if there's anything else that we're into. Hope you guys are doing great out there today on this Wednesday. So you got tired of watching the Bitcoin conference? I do have a couple little clips I might show from the vice president from the Bitcoin conference. Latest on Sui DeFi. Let's see if there's any more calendar events that we need to know of. Elliptic and XDC. Elliptic expands blockchain monitoring to support the XDC network. Cool. Just want to make sure we don't miss anything. Let's take a quick look at the Bitcoin dominance. Yeah, I saw Sailor doesn't want to show his chain proof of reserve. Imagine that. Yeah, I've got that in just a minute as well. 60% now. It looks like it's going down a little bit, so that's good to see. We need to see some altcoin movement. Let's look at commodities for today. Oats are at 2% up. 2.15%. 2.15%. The The VP speech was bullish. Cool. Appreciate that, X Lloyd. What's up, X Lloyd? Gold's at $3,297. Silver's at $33. Are there any more commodities popping off today? Doesn't look like it. Where do we add the cryptos to the commodity list? Look, Goldman Sachs says gold would do better than silver. What does that tell you? Might be time to get into silver. All right, cool. Crypto panic. We have U.S. Labor Department picks up crypto torch, throwing out previous warnings. The U.S. Labor Department is reversing its earlier caution about including crypto investments in people's retirement savings, arguing that issuing warnings about the hazards of digital assets failed to maintain appropriate neutrality about what the agency tells investment officials. The new compliance directive issued on Wednesday clarified that the department has no business singling out assets for warnings or praise. Yeah, they can't pick winners and losers. What are they thinking? Though the move tracks with the months of actions from the administration of President Donald Trump to throw out impediments to digital assets investments. The Department of Labor throwing out guidance. So they're reversing that guidance, cautioning people. Yeah. Cautioning people not to make money. Well, okay, let's get back to crypto panic. Telegram partners with XAI to launch Grok AI chatbot. Interesting. Grok AI chatbot. And Telegram. Okay. We saw where X payments is coming. Elon said it's going to beta mode. X payments. So we've yet to see which rail X payments will be using. That will be very telling right there once we get to see that. I have a feeling this year is going to be good, guys. We're going to get a lot of clarity this year. BlackRock plans to purchase approximately 10% of Circle's IPO shares. Katina blockchain goes live in private mainnet with Sushi, Morpho, and Chainlink. Trump's USD1 creates a wave of meme tokens. Jake Claver says 100,000 ZERPs in 10 years. You never know. That'd be nice. We'll still be holding. Never sell them all, babe. Never sell them all. You never know, though, guys. You might not have to sell any of them. It might be your money maker. It might be your main source of collateral to take loans out against. That's what some of these guys that are in Bitcoin, guys, they're using that stuff as collateral to get more Bitcoin so that they can use that new Bitcoin as collateral so they can go buy more Bitcoin so they can use that new Bitcoin as more collateral. So now you know why these guys are in deep in Bitcoin. They're over leveraged. They're leveraged out into the future, years and years ahead of time. Yeah, that would be nice. New York City plans to issue Bitcoin bonds. So, Bitcoin bonds. So that means they have, that's debt there. That's like a municipal bond. That's kind of weird. A city issuing a Bitcoin bond. That means the city, you buy the bond, the city keeps the cash. Right? That's what happens with a municipal bond. The city uses that to build something for the city, and then they repay you So how do they do that with Bitcoin? You probably buy, I would assume you give the city cash and they promise to pay Bitcoin in the coming years. So maybe they know that Bitcoin's going to crash and they just take the money and run. Who knows, guys? Wow. That's pretty wild to think, though. Only thousands of people will be left at 100K. Yeah, it gets smaller and smaller, you know, that rich list. Cool. Let's get to our X bookmarks, guys. Hope you guys are doing great. Kind of just chilling out, have a relaxing stream today on this Wednesday. Hadn't streamed in a while, but we're back at it again. So what's going on in the world of crypto and distributed ledger land? We've got the Bitcoin conference going on. Here's Subjective Views posting Vice President J.D. Vance. We did not think that stablecoins threaten the integrity of the U.S. dollar. Quite the opposite. We view them as a force multiplier of our economic might. There we go.
In this administration, we do not think that stablecoins threaten the integrity of the United States dollar. Quite the opposite.
But those rails are still important, guys. You know that.
In fact, we view them as a force multiplier of our economic might. Dollar-pegged stablecoins, particularly once Genius is enacted, is only going to help the American economy, and it's only going to help the American dollar.
So what's that got to do with Bitcoin? The Genius bill, the stablecoin bill. What does that got to do with Bitcoin? Especially if they're not going to be using synthetic back or crypto-backed stablecoin. You can't back crypto with Bitcoin or stablecoin with Bitcoin. Here's Riz
eliminating
posting.
the rules, the red tape, and the lawfare that we saw aimed at crypto by our predecessors. We're ending the weaponization of federal regulations against this community. To put it simply, Operation Choke Point 2.0 is dead, and it's not coming back under the Trump administration.
Nice. Finally.
And by the way, it's crazy that was ever even controversial, the idea of using the regulatory power of the government to crush an industry and to crush people who espoused a view that you didn't like. It's crazy, but let my words today serve as Operation Choke Point.
Yeah, there's a lot of weaponization that happened everywhere.
Let me serve as its obituary. Now this is my vow to every single person here. You will never see this administration trying to handicap your community or diminish the impact it's had on the economy. Instead, we reject the Biden administration's legacy of death by 1,000 enforcement actions. We reject regulators. Maybe the most important thing that we did for this community, we reject regulators, and we fired Gary Gensler, and we're going to fire everybody like him.
Yeah, get those bureaucrats out of there that aren't doing anything but hurting us, taking away our freedoms, especially since they dropped the Chevron, the deference, Chevron deference. That just totally took the power out of these bureaucrats. I love that. Yeah, and a lot of that was done. You know, we even had a couple crypto things that were done that were signed using the auto pen, I do believe. So it sounds like what's her name? Warren was behind the auto pen. Says
this is the financial
Sachs.
system of the future, Jesse, and we have to encourage it. What the Biden administration was doing, and let's face it, it wasn't Biden. Elizabeth Warren controlled the auto pen during that administration. She, for some reason, has this pathological hatred of the crypto community. She wants
So
to
not only was she in charge of Choke Point 2.0, She controlled Biden's auto pen. So what kind of legislation was signed by Elizabeth Warren? I remember the Saab 121. That was signed by Biden. I'm not sure if it was auto pen, but that was to keep the custody for banks, custody and crypto, to keep it off, or actually to keep it on their balance sheets, a dollar amount on their balance sheets. But yet they had an exception for one of those banks. I can't remember. But yeah, Elizabeth Warren signing the auto pen. Who would have thought?
50 million Americans own Bitcoin, and I believe that's going to be 100 million before too long.
That's not much. Double. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for way more than that. I don't know. I heard Anthony Bernal had auto pen access. Never heard of that dude, Anthony Bernal. I have no clue who that is. It's probably a good thing, though. I've got a really good filter, guys. If it's something I don't need to know about or someone that's not important, especially like Hollywood. My wife is all the time looking at me like, you don't know who that? You don't know their name? No, I don't know who that is.
Here today to say loud and clear, with President Trump, crypto finally has a champion and an ally in the White House.
It's about time.
My final piece of advice is to make sure you're keeping tabs on.
He was Jill Biden's personal White House assistant. So like didn't she have like a chief of staff or whatever? So that was him. Imagine that.
And staying involved in what's happening with artificial intelligence, because I don't want Bitcoin to be negatively affected by what happens in AI. And most importantly, I don't want America to be negatively affected by what happens in AI. And the best way to ensure that smart people are at the AI conversation is to ensure that Bitcoin is part of the artificial intelligence conversation. Our administration is committed to it. I want you guys to be committed to it as well.
You think the AI is going to go out there and use Bitcoin? These AIs, they're going to make decisions on what technologies to use. Are they going to decide to use something like Bitcoin, guys? We shall see. I don't know. AI, they keep sending me a bunch of spam and spam bots, so they can't be that smart. They can't get the picture that I'm not going to buy anything or click on anything. So they're not that smart. Okay, we got Chris Larson posting. First time he's posted in a while, I think. He's reposting the Bitcoin skull that Ripple gave him. So if you can't see it there, special guest at Bitcoin 2025, the skull of Satoshi donated by Ripple to the Bitcoin community. The skull will now have a permanent home at the Bitcoin Museum in Nashville. So it's a bunch of circuit boards with Bitcoins in the eyes. But then you've got the nuclear stacks for the energy consumption and the wires coming out the bottom. So kind of a little statement there by Ripple about the energy consumption of Bitcoin. But you had Chris Larson posting 2 hours ago in early 2023 when I funded the Change the Code campaign. I remember that. My goal was to see if there was a way to turn Bitcoin into an accelerator for direct air capture. An accelerator for direct air capture. The campaign didn't work, and that's okay. Note, Ripple did not fund this campaign. Side note, Chris Larson did invest in the first, supposed to be a new technology, a new invention the other day, where they are capturing air and turning it into fuel. So whatever that's from. The campaign didn't work. That's okay, though. Ripple did not fund the campaign. So Bitcoin's energy transition in the last couple of years has been remarkable, using over 50% renewable energy sources, hydropower, wind, and nuclear, and often using trapped or flared gas, which could otherwise be wasted. I'm glad to see the Scully back into the world, serving as a reminder for environmental stewardship and innovation. So he's saying it's good to see Bitcoin's kind of changed, using renewable sources. But my first thought on that is, how many natural resources are used to create and build renewable energy sources? How much waste is created just to create a renewable energy source? And couldn't we use all of that for something more important than validating transactions? They want to tout Bitcoin's renewable energy sources. Well, why couldn't we use that energy on something more important than validating transactions? I mean, come on. That's just my take on it there, guys. Talking with a wife about it, and we were talking about, what they think gives Bitcoin value is the mining of it, the use of electricity to make a Bitcoin. That's what they say gives it value, is its wastefulness. And even if it's using renewable resources, it's still wasting renewable resources that could be used on something else. So I just don't get it, guys. I get a little frustrated with it, but that's just me. If you're holding it, I hope you guys make money. Dagna PI is talking about Constellation amid the blockchain noise claims as the fastest, most scalable, most interoperable Constellation networks. HGTP stands out with proven results, while others promise. HGTP delivers, securing mission-critical data for the DoD through Iron SPIDR. It's not just talk. HGTP's decentralized quantum-resistant framework ensures trustworthy data from military ops to enterprise use cases. Even better, Constellation is shaping the future by educating the brightest minds at the U.S. military, including Air Force and Space Force, on secure data systems. That's what I was just talking about earlier, guys. We got to secure all the data on the back end of all this stuff. And that's a lot of data that's going to be coming on chain. So it sounds like Constellation is making their waves doing that. As the U.S. Army War College's 2040 HMI report notes, Constellation work is redefining trust. A new paradigm by 2040, Future Storm, Constellation. Advanced security tools will likely increase the resiliency of data for faster decision making. Get that DAG bag. Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Gary. America's blockchain. We have trusted data.
When we're America's trusted blockchain. I know a lot of companies are saying we're an American blockchain.
Can't play that because of copyright strikes. They're strict with the copyrights on YouTube's. DAG is the real deal. HGTP isn't just hype, it's delivering secure quantum-resistant data solutions for the DoD and beyond. Nice. Thrilled to partner with BLI Tools, the only globally centralized library to research decentralized resources, AI, Bitcoin, ETH protocols, blockchain uses. BLI Tools. It says Centralized Library, Blockchain Legal Institute. That might be a good one to follow. All right, looks like we have some news from Doge. Senator Durbin is trying to hijack the Genius Act with a credit card plan that has nothing to do with crypto. It would gut rewards and restrict credit access. No debate, no transparency. This is why Congress fails at real reform and government efficiency. I've been waiting on something like this. I'm not exactly sure what he's doing, but we've been waiting for them to hijack parts of this Genius Act and try to keep their fees in, try to keep that legacy system going the best at any cost, in any way that they can. Seeing if anybody said anything about what he's doing. So why is he involved in credit cards? No telling. We just need to keep an eye on him. Trying to change and involve something else. Marco Polo says, don't overcomplicate your AI portfolio. Here's some AI picks from Marco Polo. Here's your bid sensor, TAO, T-A-O. He says TAO for AI Subnet King. I like the idea of subnets. That's probably the third one I've heard of. XRP has side chains. Metal Layer 0 has subnets. And it says Tau has subnets as well. Then you've got Render as a GPU infrastructure. Although I saw where Coinbase, I think they just delisted Render. Let's see if I've got that. Yeah. Coinbase assets. We regularly monitor assets on our exchange to ensure they meet our listing standards. Based on recent reviews, we have suspended trading for Helium Mobile, Render, and Ribbon Finance, and Synapses. So some big ones there. They have delisted on Coinbase. Yeah, there you go. Mobile, Render, RBN, and SYN are being delisted because new versions of these tokens have been released. Oh, well, there you go. As a result, the original versions of these tokens no longer meet. Well, why did they do that? Why didn't they just change it out? Maybe the ticker's changing. Bullish and Render. Yeah, Render should be important, guys. We got to have, what did he call it? The GPU infrastructure. Live rendering. Yeah. Imagine playing a game and you need to render the environment around you, augmented environment around you in real time, and augment it and render it to someone else that's playing with you that might not be in that place, you know. Yeah, the info is changing some company though. Same company though. Yeah, it's to be sure they're going to keep it RNDR though. Why would they get rid of RNDR? They're going to have a new ticker. Instead of scaring the crap out of everyone, they're making you think that they're delisting it. Really, it's just changing again. Yeah, that's what it looks like. They just recently changed the ticker, I think, within this last year or two. Oh, okay. They moved the order books to limit only mode. When in fact, they should just swap it out for the new, when it changes, you know, they should be able to do all that. You should clarify that this is the old render token, not the new render token. So this person's saying that the ticker is going to have all the letters in it. Weird. I don't know, guys. Just be aware that Render is updating and World Mobile is updating, Ribbon Finance and Synapse. You never know, though. It's kind of good to see things like this because you never know what they're trying to pull in the background. Yeah, they should have just moved it over and sent a notification that some things have been updated and changed and edited. Yeah. SERV, Autonomous Agents. Serve. Not familiar with this one. ALCH is the dark horse pick. What's ALCH? Alchemist AI. Summon new worlds with spoken words. In a world. All right, cool. Just kind of showing you his picks for AI coins. Crypto Sensei, breaking GOP Representative Brian Steele claims stablecoin and crypto market laws could kick off a golden era for digital assets.
We're going to be advancing quickly here on stablecoin. I think the House version, my bill, the Stable Act, complements well with the Genius Act in the Senate. I think at the end of the day, we'll be able to get one unified piece of legislation as we work to also deliver on the market structure legislation that's so essential. When both get done, I think we will really unlock the digital asset golden age here in the United States. We're going to be advancing.
Unlock the golden era for digital assets. I like the way that sounds. Cool, cool. Ripple sent a letter to the SEC proposing a maturity test to determine when crypto tokens should no longer be considered securities. This from the crypto briefing. Yeah, this was yesterday. To the SEC. Thank you for meeting with us. So Ripple met with them on the 20th. And in light of Commissioner Peirce's new paradigm speech, we wanted to share additional thoughts. When does a non-security crypto asset that was once part of an investment contract become separated from that contract? And Ripple is citing Lewis Cohen's The Immutable Modality of Security Laws, Why Fungible Crypto Tokens Are Not Securities. There is no current basis in the law relating to investment contracts to classify most fungible crypto assets as securities when transferred in secondary transactions, because an investment contract transaction is generally not present when these assets neither create or represent the necessary cognizable legal relationship between an identifiable legal entity on one hand and the other, it's kind of hard to read, and the owner of the crypto asset on the other hand. That is a hallmark of a security. So they're talking about the Judge Torres ruling here In that decision, the courts held that certain of Ripple's historical institutional sales of XRP were investment contracts, but others of Ripple's transactions involving XRP, including Ripple's secondary market sales, did not constitute investment contracts. Notably, Judge Torres determined that XRP in itself is not a security, even though Ripple had previously sold some units of XRP to sophisticated institutional counterparties as part of an investment contract years prior. I guess they're just trying to get all this figured out still. What's up, Buckles? Good to see you. X-Lloyd's getting ready for the Vegas trip. Nice. Hope you guys have a blast out there. Guys, I think I'm going to call it short today. I'll be back again tomorrow. Peace, guys.